My name is Cassie Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. What comes up for you when you look at beauty? That's what I want to explore today. I want to explore another kind of beauty with you and the possibilities around that. We're going to talk about the body, but I also would love to talk about the aesthetics, like the beauty all around you, the beauty in the world, the beauty in your world, and how that can actually create for you. And how where maybe we're not creating exactly what we would like to create. All right. Yeah. Are you down? Let's do this. Let's go. Let's explore. So we'll start with the body. Beauty standards. Oh, I'm just suddenly seeing like images of all this stuff that tells us like what's beautiful, what's not beautiful. The perfection of beauty, the standards, all of this stuff that really disacknowledges what we know is true and can be very destructive and, just create all sorts of ET-conscious things really in our world, in our body, in our perception of ourselves. That's not where I want to go today. I would actually just even like to take a moment and just clear out the energy of everything that's ever been for you. Whether maybe you're in a place now where you're like, yeah, I love my body. I love the way I look, but we could even clear out the stuff like maybe you went through an awkward time in your teenage years, or maybe you didn't feel that way at some point. Or you were just so aware of the expectations and projections of the world. Let's use the access conscious clearing statement and clear that out for a minute here. Right, wrong, good and bad, black and pod, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyond. So if you want more information on that, go to theclearingstatement.com. Today we just kind of use it like a magic wand. Okay, so beauty. I was really looking at beauty. I have a different perception of beauty. And I had a mohawk for 7 years of my life. And it was so interesting to me because I was trying so hard to match what I had bought was beautiful. And no matter what I did, I would like change my hair, do this with my hair, try and do this with my body, perfect eyebrows, like makeup, no makeup, like all these different things. And it's so interesting because if you go to different areas or speak with different groups, they have a different perception of beauty. For some people, it's like natural no makeup is the only true beauty that there is. And for other people, they don't feel beautiful unless they have like full makeup coverage. They've taken an hour to kind of glam up. And there's such a mix in between. And so I never could find a way to fit into any of this and actually have a sense for myself that I was embodying beauty. The first time that I had a mohawk, okay, I could still, and I've done a lot of talks on this, so I won't go into it too much, but I still remember like the glee and the rush of like joy through my body when that razor hit my head and the hair fell. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror And I was like, whoa. And it was the first time since I was really little that the thought ever crossed my mind, I look so beautiful, which you wouldn't think that a mohawk would create that for a woman, you know? And it did. And I was like walking down the street and I was just kept like seeing myself in the reflection. I was like, oh my God, I love it so much. Do you notice that one that's kind of sinful to even like admire your own beauty? You're supposed to be beautiful and then pretend like, oh no, I don't know I'm beautiful. There's actually a song, and oh my God, song is like, it's a great melody. It pulls you in. The lyrics are awesome, except for this part where she's beautiful and she doesn't know it. And that's what makes her so beautiful. And I actually hate that. I hate that so much because we've made that right. We've made it right to just kind of achieve beauty and then pretend like you aren't that so that others can see you as right, because you don't want to be beautiful and know it, because that would make you what? Stuck up. That would make you wrong in some way. This reality is kind of weird, huh? Okay, so here I am loving this mohawk. And then years later, so I do a lot of body communication. And hopefully you've caught some of my episodes where I talk a lot more about body communication, because we'll play a little bit here, and in it, I'm always asking my body, what would you like to look like? Because your body has a consciousness. And I really get that there are an infinite amount of ways to represent beauty, to actualize beauty, to express beauty. There's so many different ways. So when you're looking at that for you, the aesthetic that you want to create with your body, including your body's consciousness in that, is very beneficial because your body knows how it can actualize beauty to the greatest possibility for you. Now, why beauty? Why is beauty even valuable? Some people are like, I love being around kids because they just don't judge me. Well, we're not talking about judgeable beauty. Or, a dog doesn't care what you look like. It'll just love you anyways. Yeah. It's not about, what if beauty wasn't about that? It wasn't about now I'm right, or now I'm valuable, or now I can be received, or now I won't be rejected. And so I want to surround myself with people and things that don't care what I look like so that I'm not rejected. But in that way, you just bought into all the beauty shit anyways, and you're avoiding it. When you have this sense of like the joy of embodiment and you're receiving and just really enjoying the aesthetic of something, including your body, it makes it greater. It actually increases receiving. Bear with me. You might have some stuff coming up right now. You might have energies coming up, frustrations or upset, and bear with me for a minute. Because what if beauty isn't what you think it is? Because that animal that doesn't care what you look like, what if it's not that it doesn't care what you look like? What if it's willing to acknowledge the beauty of you, not from judgment, not from right and wrong, good and bad, but from that actual expression of beauty? Yeah. Okay. There we go. Relax. Just a little bit as we explore this. Okay. Oh my gosh. What was I thinking doing a podcast episode on this. This is so much more of like a call, but we're just do what we can do here, okay? And the reason I say that is because in a space of facilitation, like if we were to be on a call together, then there's just a different way of being and clearing out stuff. Whereas in this space, which is so cool, it's tapping into everyone that will ever listen to this and offering what I can as far as contribution, facilitation, energy, space, consciousness, question, and seeing what can ripple out. And this topic, as I'm exploring this with you, I'm realizing is actually a very deep topic and can have some really interesting roots that could use a lot, a lot of pulling out the threads. However, I do get that there is a contribution that we can gift and receive to each other just having this conversation here in this forum. So let's keep going. So, beauty. Here I am, 12-year-old girl, right? That's usually 10 to 12 is when you I think it was 8 when I first was like, oh, I don't look like other people, and that was wrong in my head. And then around 12 is when I started to really care, like in a different way, like in a way to try and fix it. Whereas before I cared, I just wasn't going to do anything about it because I just didn't feel like I could. So then 12 comes along and I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and do this beauty thing, and felt like I always failed at it. You might relate in some way at some time. Now, when I look at beauty, I look at it very, very differently. And I look at it from a space of creation, which is what I wanted to kind of explore with you here today. So let's say you bought a new home, okay? And you are going to create with it. You might like certain elements that were there when you purchased it. That's probably why you purchased it. Some people are like, oh, it had good bones and I want to like change everything. Other people are like, oh, I just like would love to paint the walls, or when I bring in my furniture, it's going to change the space here. In that creation space, you're working with the aesthetic of something. You're working with the beauty of the space. Now, some people don't do that. Some people go, okay, where does my current furniture fit? And they just put it in, right? And then I personally love interior design. That was like going to be my career. It's going to be an interior designer. And I love working with the space and the things you bring into the space to create an aesthetic that offers an energy. Yes. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah. Thank you for being here. It creates an energy. Now, what energy do you desire to create? That is the play with beauty. So let's say you are creating, the bedroom. Now, for some people, they want the bedroom to be like, this is my sanctuary. I rest here, I sleep here, I heal here, I have like this space for me. This is my place to go. No one else can come in. It's my room, because you might share the house with others. This is my sanctuary. Okay. So then when playing with the aesthetic of that room, you would bring in elements that complement, support, and invite those energies. What would sanctuary, how would that physically manifest? Like, how would that physically show up for this person? What gives them that sense, that energy of sanctuary, of healing, of rest? What are the colors that represent that for that person? What are and so you're creating this space, right? For someone else, it might be like, you know what? For me, the bedroom is about sensuality. It's orgasmic. It's the place where I get to come together with my playmates and we explore bodies. And I want you to walk in and just feel turned on the moment. Sorry, the moment I'm getting all raspy for you. The moment you walk into this space, I desire like the bodies to have like this energy of pleasure. That aesthetic would be very different than the Zen room, right? Than the sanctuary room. So when you're playing with beauty, you can ask questions about like, what energy would I like to create? What would I like to create here with this aesthetic, with this beauty? And it will draw in more of those energies that you're creating. So if you create a bedroom that is, if you create a bedroom that absolutely rejects sex, and then you wonder why you never have sex, well, that might be part of what's going on here. If you create a space that rejects relaxation, and you're like, why can I never relax in this space? Okay, well, then you got to look at that, right? Because it will actually attract. So if you create a room, if you create a space that is like all about copulation and pleasure and sex, it will attract more sex. If you create a space that is about healing and nurturing and rest, it will draw in rest for you. Now we can play with that with your body as well. So what are you creating with the aesthetic of your beauty, of your body with beauty? And is it what you desire to create in the world? Is it what you desire to draw in? Like, do you desire to draw in nurturing energies? Okay, so say, yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, so then what can you create with your body, with your beauty that draws in nurturing energies? And this isn't about following your head, okay? Because your head will have been programmed by social media, by marketing, by all of these things, right? So we go, okay, nurturing is, and then you probably have like a few visuals of what that is. Nurturing could look like a mom. It could be like, moms are so nurturing. Nurturing could be like those perfect yoga women. You know what I mean? Like they're just like, or like guru women. Like, I don't know if women are actually allowed to be gurus. I think it's like only for the men, but like those like superior, you know what I mean? Like it could be something like that. It could be grandmother. It could be, okay. So we're not trying to mimic or copy something that's been fed to us. It's actually in that communion with your body and you're communicating with the consciousness of your body. And you're like, I would like to draw in more of this. What aesthetic could we create that would draw that in? You might be wearing bright purple and you're like, I don't even know I'm wearing bright purple, and you're drawing in this energy. So don't try to make it make sense. That's what I'm saying. Don't try and make it make sense. But if you're at this place where you're like, you know what? I feel like I want to change. Maybe I want to change my hair, change my clothing style. There's something about your aesthetic or your beauty that you're like, something's pulling at me. You can start to ask questions of like, around this, and you can even just explore, just even ask your body, hey body, like what would you like to look like? How would you like our hair to show up? What kind of clothing would you like to wear? That's like the beginner stuff. Okay, please start there. And then once you've done that for a while, you can start exploring a little bit more of this creation and play with it, not from trying to make it right, but play with it. Like I love having pink hair, and I often do it more in like spring and summer and get to enjoy like this. And it creates a totally different energy with my body when I have pink hair than when I have platinum hair. It's totally different. And I get to play in the season of it. I get to play in what's showing up for me, and also acknowledging, what am I drawing in? What am I drawing in? And not from the perception of, or the like impelled points of view of this world. For example, when I had a mohawk, you would think, if I was going to just do a linear path here, that a mohawk would put off men. It didn't, by the way. It would make everyone feel like I am some badass or be afraid of me, like that, like the mohawk thing. When I had a mohawk, it actually, what I noticed, it created people acknowledging a difference that beauty can be. It would draw people into conversation with me about the boldness of that choice, and acknowledged within them that they could choose something different too. It actually didn't create what you would think a mohawk would create. And when you're looking at creating with your beauty, please know that it's not about creating an image. It's about something so much more beautiful, which is about creating an invitation to something greater for you and the people that your body gets to interact with. I tried that image thing. I don't know about you. I don't really like image. I don't enjoy people that are functioning from an image. They could have like literally the perfect, like everything. Like, I'm a yoga teacher and they are always wearing like this yoga stuff and malas, and they have like the perfect hair, the yoga hair, and the all the stuff. And you can tell when it matches, and you can tell when it is a image that they are just wearing. When you create with your beauty, true creation from consciousness does not include an image. It's not about that. It's actually about creating an energy in the world. And that is something that I see the gift that beauty can be, whether it's the energy you're creating in a room, or what you're creating on a painting, on a canvas, when your brush strokes against it, or what you're creating is the beauty of your body. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for exploring this. I would love to know if you're willing to share like what came up for you during this podcast, if anything, and if you'd like some different content on this topic. As I started to explore it with you here, I just perceived a lot of different things and where we could go. And I would love to know if there's interest out there, if this is something that you would like to discuss more and explore, or maybe you're good. Maybe we talked all the beauty that you want to talk, and that's okay too. As always, I am super grateful for you being here. If you would be willing to contribute to me getting this out in the world, I'd be so even more grateful. I would love for this podcast to reach the masses. I'm asking for tens of thousands of people to know that the Curious Universe exists. So if you could help me, that would be incredible. Thank you again, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you for exploring the Curious Universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?